Welcome, Jamie Hartley again from Crossfader, and today's a special day. We have the brand new Denon SC5000 and X1800 in the studio. Now we don't have them for long, but I really want to put them through the paces and see what we can do with this player and this mixer. You'll notice I've only got one player, but that's okay. We've got a layer feature so we can mix tracks just using one deck. How amazing is that? Now I know there are loads of review videos and loads of information about these products already, so I'm not going to go over the same things that you've probably already heard. What I really want to do is nail down some of these performance features and put them into practice. I want to know whether this player stands up to a club environment, whether it stands up to a club DJ, a working DJ. I've been working in the industry for 10 years now, and it's solely been pretty much pioneer players. So this is a big deal. In this video, we're going to try and nail down some of these techniques. I'm going to plan a mix from start to finish, maybe 5 or 6 tracks. I'm going to talk through all of the different things that I'm planning and why I'm doing it, and try and make use of some of these performance features that Denon are shouting about. Remember, we're an online DJ school, so we want to share some of the knowledge with you guys at home. Hopefully in this video, you'll not only learn about the Denon DJ equipment, but maybe pick up some tips and tricks that you can apply to your own DJ sets. I hope you enjoy, and please remember to subscribe to our channel for plenty more videos like this. First of all, I've got a quick playlist. I can access my playlist with the touchscreen. It's really nice, this touchscreen. It feels just like an iPhone or an iPad. You can scroll up and down. And just to load a track, I'm just going to swipe across and load. We've got a track here. Now on this track, I'm only going to use the intro. This is Satoru's Acapella intro of I Would Like Zara Larsson from DJ City. Now, I've got a few hot cues set here because this has come through Serato DJ. However, I want to set up a loop on a part of this track. It's as easy as go to the loop mode or use the auto loop feature here. You can see in the center of the screen, we get the different loop lengths. I just want a 2-beat loop. And I want it on baby. Let me scroll back. Once that loop's set, I can just save it in the loop performance pad by clicking it here. Press it again, it undoes. Let's check it. That's great. I'm then going to layer underneath that. If I go layer, I'm onto the new deck. Go back. I'm going to load Blunt Edge by Zinc. This is the instrumental of Miss Dynamite While Out. I need to set up a hot cue here so I can get into the mix nice and quick. A nice way to do this is I'm just going to scroll back to the start and beat jump forwards. I'm going to set my beat jump parameter using the auto loop at say 32 beats, and then these two buttons, beat jump left and right, 1, 2, 3, and this is a drop. Now we don't want to jump straight into the drop, so let's pause it there, and beat jump 32 beats back. Set up a hot cue. Now I've got a 32 beat intro into my drop. Let's cue that track back up. I've got an idea later on in this track, and this is something I've done with controllers, but I've not managed to do on, say, a Pioneer CDJ setup using USBs, and that's use a slicer mode. When this track drops in, I want to be able to almost make a VIP edit of this. To do this, I'm going to jump onto the slicer loop and then try and chop it up. This is something I would practice beforehand. I'd maybe wait for the second half of the phrase. So say now. And then I press this again, it turns to slicer loop. You know that because it's indicated green. This means it loops that section, and I can just start chopping up parts of it. Now, I know that I want to create something a bit choppier than that, so I'm going to turn the roll of the loop down using these two parameter buttons. Turn it down once. I want to turn quantize off because I want to be able to hit it on the offbeat. And we can go. That's really useful. So onto the next track. If I go back to layer, I can go back and then onto the next one. I'm going to have an instrumental playing there with Blunt Edge, so I want to add some vocal in over the top. This, I've got Kyla Do You Mind, the Control S 2016 remix. Let's beat jump forwards and see where the vocal lands. Go back to my hot cues. So this is where the phrase of the vocal starts. I'm going to pause it there, put quantize back on using the touchscreen, and make sure that my hot cue lands. Tell me, I need to know. Okay, so that's cool, but I actually want to chop this vocal up a little bit as well and see if I can do something more interesting with it. I might loop this go. That's 2 beats. Now instead of using the loop mode, I could just do this on the fly by pressing loop performance pad. And if I press it once and then press it again, it automatically saves that loop. I can go off and then let's do another one. I have them 2 loops that I can jump back and forth between. To undo, just press it again. I might have another hot cue on Baby. It's quite a nice one to have it on. And then I've got some other hot cues already set up here with the bass. I don't know if I'm going to use them yet because I want to be able to transition in the next mix down to a different BPM range. I've clicked the layer, let's go back and load in the next track. This track original BPM is 105 BPM, as the readout indicates there. And the last track we had was 130 BPM. So we're going to do a transition from Kyla Do You Mind down to this independent twerk and Lambo. We've got a few hot cues already set on here from me importing it from Serato DJ.
Independent bitches,
So I want to get into this track nice and quick. This is quite nice, this hot cue that I've set, a bar before the drop.
independent bitches,
Or even just straight into the drop. Going back to Kyla Do You Mind, I just want to check that I'm able to get down to this BPM. Let's see where our target BPM is, 105. Now the nice thing on this player is we can actually change the BPM, let's say it's 131.5 instead. Now if we want to transition and move the BPM down, we can hold shift and use these pitch bend plus and minuses to actually change the tempo range. Now I can go up and down between plus and minus 8, plus and minus 10, plus and minus 20, 50 and 100%. I'm going to see what 20 does. Now if I go down, how far will that go? 104, what was my target? 105. So I don't need to go any wider than 20% on the BPM range. That's all good. Let's go back and just double check. That hot cue is good. Okay, on to the next track. I'm going to go back up this time and I've got an Acapella. This one, Renegade Master, very popular Acapella to use by DJs. But I've just noticed that the grid, the readout of the grid is wrong. So I'm just going to quickly go over how to change the grid so that it reads out right. So if you were ever to use any quantize with loops or even the sync feature, it would then stay in time. I can zoom in and out using either the selector here or even just a pinch gesture, which is really nice. It feels really familiar to, again, an iPhone or a touch tablet. I want to zoom in quite a bit and then find, this is my number one, Master. Or I could have the, it's halfway through the word back. Let's set up and pause on the ACK once again. I can then hold this select pot here, and this allows me to shift the grid left and right. Now you'll notice it shifts in whole beats. I want to shift it in finer adjustments to that. All I have to do is use the jog wheel, move it around and layer the red marker underneath my cue point. Hold this pot again and off we go.
Once again for the Renegade Master, D4 damager, power to the people. Back once again for the Renegade Master, D4.
So that looks much better.
Renegade Master.
Now I need to set up some hot cues on this track. I want one right at the very start. Again, I'm going to turn quantize off because it's not quite on the grid, the letter B of back.
Back once again for the
And then I'm going to have Renegade and Master.
Master, back once again for the Renegade Master, Renegade Master, Renegade Master.
Now I might want to loop Renegade Master, so let's prepare that as well. Let's go to the loop mode.
Back once again for the Renegade Master.
Now you'll notice I didn't have quantize on when I did that, so I'm just going to undo this loop. To delete it, hold shift and press the loop pad. And then I'm going to put quantize back on, and let's just do it live again.
Back once again for the renegade master, renegade master, renegade master,
Much nicer.
renegade master, renegade master. D4
That's
damage
saved
up,
there.
power to the
And that allows me to loop that if I want to when I come to mix the track, because I'm going to be taking this BPM right down to somewhere 105.
Back once again for the renegade master, renegade master.
And maybe picking the pace up of both tracks and transitioning into this acapella. This acapella is going to be playing back at its original speed somewhere, and I'm going to layer in my last track, which is Moose T Horny, the instrumental version, because I want to play an instrumental underneath an acapella. Let's see what I've got already prepared here. We've got a lead in, but it's not quite the drop. Let's beat jump forwards. Keep going. So that's too long of an intro for this technique that I want to do. I don't want the acapella to be playing by itself for too long. I'll find the drop. Let's go here. Double check. So that's cool. That's where I want it to drop in. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Change my parameter to 32 beats and beat jump backwards. Then set up a new hot cue number 3. Again, I've got a 32 beat lead in to the drop of the track. I can mix this underneath Renegade Master Acapella, and then when it drops back in, I could layer back to Renegade Master and start chopping it up.
Back once again for the renegade master. Back once again for the renegade master, renegade master.
I turn quantize off to play around with the hot cues, but you can see where this is going. Let me just stop that track there. The other features I want to try and incorporate is the roll feature, and this is really nice. Maybe when this track drops in, jump to roll. Maybe use that a half T, to create a bit of a stuttering effect. It's just another performance feature that we can access right here on the player, and it's really, really nice to just make your set stand out a little bit and be a bit different. I hope everything I've explained has made sense. Make sure to watch the next video to see it all in practice and see me perform this set from start to finish using these points we've just prepared and some of the features we've just covered.